This is a special presentation of EA Sports from the Coliseum in Oakland. Our tribute to the coach, the John Madden Legacy Game. I'm Brandon Gaudin here to take you through the proceedings. And coming up, we're going to tell the story of a man who was truly larger than life and whose impact on the sport of football certainly is going to live on for decades and decades to come. Now, we've assembled a couple of rosters featuring some of Coach's favorite players from both yesterday and today. And Coach himself will be on the sidelines for both squads, trying to motivate his guys to victory. I'm joined now by my good friend Charles Davis. CD, your thoughts on John Madden and what he meant to the sport he loves so much?
For me, Brandon, it's the word joy. He brought that to the game of football and brought the game to so many people. He stayed involved his entire life. And moving forward, when you think of football, you're always going to think John Madden.
One time for old times. What do you say we play some football as we are underway from Oakland in the John Madden Legacy Game? And he won't quite make it to the 25. So it's the NFC stars who will get the ball first. And Charles, as we alluded to, we've got a different era of coach on each sideline. So the man coaching this NFC squad, we'll call him Young John Madden. This is a coach who was trying to establish a foothold in the NFL and on the cusp of doing it very successfully.
Yeah, you think back to that period, those early days as the coach of the Raiders, the late 60s in the AFL, and then in the NFL in the early 70s. The guy was ahead of his time. The Raiders were one of the first teams to have mini camps, one of the first to film practice, because he wanted to practice coaching as much as he could. And his teams, they were successful right from the start of his head coaching tenure.
And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up. Not a whole lot there. The defense was ready, it looked, for that run-pass option.
You get the sense that next time he has that opportunity, he may keep it himself and get to the perimeter. Probably owes his back a little bit of an apology on that one, huh?
On 2nd down, Favre. And it's incomplete.
A lot of times it's that first read that you have. Maybe you get it in pre-snap, and he locked in on his target, but he was covered quite well, and that one's incomplete.
An early tough test on the opening drive. This is 3rd and 8. Here's Favre to throw. The first catch of the game for George Kittle. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. It's a 10-yard pickup, and that's enough to move the chains. Well, on 3rd down, he wanted to go to one of his most dependable targets, and that's who he found, his tight end there, to pick up the first, Charles.
And you use the proper word there, dependable, and sometimes spectacular, because tight ends nowadays, they can do it all. But they're the guys you trust, especially across the middle of the field where there's traffic. He delivers, and they pick up nice yardage.
On 1st and 10, it's Sanders. And he'll grab a gain of 5 out of this up to the 41-yard line.
That's a really good gain right there. They pick up 5 yards halfway to a first down. The only problem now in the huddle, everyone's going to want to touch the football. Be a lot of chattering now because they've seen that they can move the line of scrimmage.
The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. Another run here with Sanders. And this time he's not going anywhere. They'll get him down right at the line of scrimmage. They'll say no gain on the play there. Now it'll be 3rd down.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks. Now Favre. Pressure, and the AFC gets to him for the sack. Myles Garrett coming in to drop him for a loss of 8, and it also brings up 4th.
Even for a guy who many believe has become the standard in the league, Myles Garrett's 2021 was special. 16 sacks set a team record and were 3rd in the NFL, and he made first-team All-Pro to the surprise of no one.
So on 4th down, here's the Australia native Mitch Wishnowski to punt this one away. Back deep, two-time Pro Bowler Dante Hall. Calls for the fair catch, makes the fair catch just inside the 15-yard line. So, Charles, as mentioned, we've got another Coach Madden over here on the AFC sideline. Of course, his Raiders, members of the AFC West. So this is a conference he battled in for his entire career. And you think about the landscape of the NFL as he was getting into the back half of his tenure. It was a golden era for coaches. You had Don Shula, Tom Landry, Chuck Noll, Bud Grant. But it was John Madden who had the best winning percentage of them all, CD. 759, the best ever.
Brandon, it's hard to believe he could be so successful in a conference with all those great teams. The Steelers won 4 Super Bowls. The Dolphins won 2 and were a mainstay in the playoffs. The Colts were tough. The Broncos came on late and went to a Super Bowl themselves. But against Hall of Fame coaches, John Madden's record, 36, 16, and 2. That's pretty incredible. His Raiders were a factor each and every year.
It'll be a gain of 5, and it's 2nd down. I think defensively you're okay with that. Here in the first quarter, he's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that and you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where every series they have to work hard to pick up first downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that.
After a play like that, there should be congratulations all the way around, I think, because if you can stop a big fullback like that, that's not easily done.
Yeah, he does not go down easily, you're right, but he did there. Throwing is Brady on 3rd down. And that's complete to the right side. It's Allen. And able to get this across the 20 before going out of bounds. Call it a pickup of 3, and also now likely a punt on their opening drive. Well, able to get the completion, but unfortunately not able to get the 3rd down conversion there on that play.
And I like how the defense approached that one. They knew where the first down marker was, and they decide whatever you want to have, you can. You're just not going to get the first down. Excellent tackling right there.
On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. Oh, nice move. So we're through 1 at the Coliseum in Oakland. 0-0 our score. This is the John Madden Legacy Game on EA Sports. The NFC with the football here to begin the 2nd quarter as they get set to start their drive with a 1st and 10. Ready to begin their next drive here, the NFC offense. They've been playing the field position game thus far. No score, 2nd quarter as they come up on 1st and 10. They throw right away, and that's complete out on the right side. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. Nice way to start the drive, a gain of 12 and a 1st down.
But whenever you call and run the hitch route, a lot of times that ball's got to be in the air before the receiver even turns around. That's the result of throwing it so many times in practice is really a timing route. Make sure that ball's out of your hands, and oftentimes the receiver turns around, and there's the ball. Nice completion there.
They'll throw on 1st down with Favre. This one into the hands of Kittle, the tight end. And they're going to get this up to midfield.
They gave up the completion there, but this is what zone defenses count on. Catching the ball and not much run after the catch.
4 yards remain for 2nd down. They'll run with Sanders up the middle. He'll be taken down at the 48 for a pickup of 2 yards.
Now, that's a mountain of a man that just made that stop, isn't it? But he's more than that. This guy's nimble and quick. More than a space eater, he just made a great play there.
So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the 1st down. They'll try and run for it with Sanders. Only a pickup of 2, but that's all they needed for the 1st.
I liked his focus there because he wasn't thinking about breaking that one big. All he thought about was, I need one. Let's go get that. Ended up picking up 2.
2 minutes remain here, the first half of the John Madden Legacy Game. We'll be back. Hey, we want to let you know, give you a fair warning that coming up at halftime, the folks at EA Sports have put together a very nice package in tribute to Coach Madden. So make sure you stick around for that. Again, coming up at halftime.
All defenses worry that whenever anyone catches the ball and has a head of steam come out of the backfield, it can turn into a big play with missed tackles or he runs through people. But they were right there waiting, and they stopped him for a minimal gain.
Now they got to get to the line quickly. Favre on second down. And once again, this is Sanders. And he'll be brought down inside the 40-yard line.
That might feel like a little bit of a lost opportunity there for the offense because the defense brought pressure that time. And sometimes against that, you can get out to your running back, and it can turn into a big gain downfield. But what a nice job they did getting to him quickly and holding him to a short gain.
To throw is Favre. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Now the AFC going to use the first of their timeouts. So as they take it over, we step aside. Here's Mitch Wishnowski now on to punt. He'll get off a fairly short kick here as this is toward the sideline. This punt will go out of bounds. I think it'll be inside the 25, and it will. Right at the 24-yard line is where they'll spot him. And the AFC making their way out, and it's one of Coach's favorites, another local guy, Tom Brady, who will be at the controls. And boy, Coach always admired the way number 12 could run an offense, and especially his ability to stay calm under pressure.
Tom Brady is a guy who's always looking downfield. He never looks at the rush. He hangs in the pocket, and he makes a throw. He's a cool guy, and he's a tough guy. Let me tell you, there's no one calmer in the pocket than Tom Brady.
And I know that Coach has a great appreciation for Tom Brady, who turned 45 back on August 3rd, because Coach coached a guy like him in George Blanda, who played a long time in the NFL. In this game, it features legends and active players. Tom Brady qualifies as both.
Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done. 23 yards on the play.
One of the most revered Raiders of all time, Tim Brown, with his first grab of the game.
So many impressive games back in the day, and an impressive record that he holds. 10 consecutive seasons of 75 receptions or more in NFL record. Trying for Brown, and it's intercepted.
You can easily see the logic. It's a tie game. They just wanted to press it a little bit right before the half, hoping to get one more score.
Yeah, easy to second-guess the result, but now you have to think after that interception, just a field goal, and they're behind at the break.
Yeah, I think at the half, the head coach just says, look, that's on me. I wanted to press it, but it's because I believe in you guys.
The NFC offense coming out here, and you know, Charles, Coach Madden always said that if he had one drive to win a game and he had to pick a quarterback, he would pick Kenny Stabler. But I think if you asked him to omit any of his Raiders players, there's a good chance the guy he'd select would be Brett Favre.
Brett Favre is always smiling. He's always laughing. He's always talking to someone. He remembers that it's a game. And if it's a game, you should have fun.
And Brandon, that always reminds me of a great movie line where one of the players was telling the coach, every time I say it's a game, you say it's a business. And every time I say it's a business, you say it's a game. With Coach, it was always a game.
On first down, Favre. He's going to drop this down to Sanders. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. Now the NFC going to call the first of their 3 timeouts as they stop it here with just under 40 ticks to go in this first half. Could we get a touchdown in this first half after all? It's 1st and 10. From the shotgun, it's Favre. Throws the out route and completes it to Samuel. Now another timeout called for by the offense as the clock will stop with 34 seconds to go before halftime. It's 2nd and 7 from the 9. Favre. And that's going to be caught. Touchdown NFC. Jerry Rice. A 9-yard touchdown grab. And the NFC is in for 6. We don't see too many scoreless halves in football, not in today's day and age, and we're not going to see one here. We finally have points on the board.
Yeah, and it didn't come easy, did it? Because neither of these offenses really gotten out of the starting blocks yet. But that is definitely an important score right there. And who knows? The way their defenses play, that touchdown might even hold up until the end.
Extra point by Anderson, up and good. And that makes the score 7-0. Scoring summary, 3-play drive. And it's finished off by an NFC touchdown. Following the touchdown, here's Anderson to kick it away. From the 6. And not much happening on the return as he'll get this to about the 23. Well, the AFC offense heading back out. You know, Charles, Coach really loved to utilize his tight ends in the passing game. You think about Dave Casper, Hall of Famer for those great Raider teams. And I think he saw a lot of Dave Casper in an all-Madden staple, Tony Gonzalez.
Tony Gonzalez is the type of tight end I think everyone's looking for. He's a guy that can make some big plays from that tight end position. Let me tell you, you better make sure you have him accounted for on every play.
And that's exactly right, because Dave Casper, he could shred defenses down the middle of the field. And that's exactly what Tony Gonzalez did in his entire career. A 14-time Pro Bowl selection. Only Tom Brady has more. There are 6 guys in the 15,000-yard receiving club. He's the only tight end in there. Tony Gonzalez, every snap he had to know where he was because he could make plays short, medium, and long, and often put the ball in the end zone.
So many times when we talk about coverage, we're just about a defender running with a receiver, but a big part of it is understanding where the football is, finding it. In this case, when it arrived, it wasn't a surprise, and he was able to bat it away.
Not wanting to take a chance this time, they'll keep it on the ground. And obviously not fooling anybody here as they stop him behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11. Well, coming up in the second half, we'll run through John's post-coaching triumphs. But for now, we present a very special tribute to the man of the hour, narrated by Trey Mosley.
What comes to mind when you hear the name Madden? Is it the coach who led the Raiders to their first Super Bowl victory? Perhaps it's the broadcaster who entertained millions of fans. Or maybe it's the video game known simply by his name. But no matter what comes to mind when you hear the name Madden, everyone thinks of one thing: football.
The core of it was football. It's the greatest game in the world. The left goes to the right goes to the left.
Madden is on the field. He wants to know if it's real. John Madden goes on the
John Madden is the most important figure in the history of professional football. Show me somebody else who did it on 3 levels the way John did it. There's nobody.
Boy, Charles, yeah, that is really well done. Coach was something else, wasn't he?
I'm reminded what Al Davis said when he was inducting coach to the Pro Football Hall of Fame, Brandon. He loved the game. He loved his team. He loved the Raiders. He loved this league. And you can see it with everything he does.
No doubt. But it's quite possible, though, that now he would say, hey, enough of that. Let's play some football. The second half forthcoming from Oakland. The AFC going to get the football first here as we are back underway from Oakland in the John Madden Legacy Game. This one fielded at the 5. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. The offense for the AFC set to go now. Charles, it'll be interesting to see what adjustments this offense made in the locker room. Haven't really been able to get anything going offensively, virtually nothing in the ground attack either. So certainly something has to change here in quarter 3.
And I'm pretty sure their friends from the defensive side of the ball told them exactly that, because those guys, the stop troops, they've been playing pretty well, and they've kept them around in this game. Now they've got some time. The running game struggled in the first half. Opposition knows how to focus on defending the pass here. They've got to re-energize that ground game and maybe open things up for a comeback here in this half.
That one, a first down pickup of 8. So now, Charles, to pick up the story we've been telling, John Madden at 42. He had just completed a 10-year stint as the coach of the Raiders. He wants to step away a bit from the grind of coaching, but he doesn't want to step away from the game of football. So he ends up signing on with CBS in 1979 to try his hand at broadcasting. And much like his coaching career, he was pretty much an instant success.
Partner, he really connected with the people right from the start, and people may not remember, he wasn't even on the #1 team in the beginning. He worked his way up. But the same things that made him a great coach made him a great broadcaster. The ability to show the big picture, yet break it down into the details. That's what he did with his teams. That's what he did with the people. That way, he was simple to understand, yet insightful for viewers. And he did with that big personality that he had, one that connected with everyone.
So for Coach Madden, Charles, by 1981, his broadcasting career is really taking off. He's elevated to the network's #1 booth that calls all the big matchups. And he gets the plum assignment of calling Super Bowl 16, 49ers and Bengals, and he's teamed up with Pat Summerall. And that pairing ultimately would go on to be one of the most influential in sports broadcasting history.
Influential not just in us listening to them. Remember, they went on and called 8 Super Bowls together. And how they put together kind of the template that all of us broadcasters follow now. Sitting down with the head coaches and the quarterbacks and the stars of each team before a ball game to get extra information. And the way that those two paired together, Pat Summerall, short, concise, to the point, and turned it over to Coach Madden to fill in all the big details.
Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. Throwing now is Brady. Out route to Hill, complete. As you mentioned, CD, talking about John Madden, the broadcaster, he called 8 Super Bowls with Pat Summerall, 3 more with Al Michaels later in his career. He spent nearly 3 decades in the booth all told. And not only was he beloved for his mannerisms, we know that, but he was an innovator as well.
Yeah, Brandon, you talk about things like the telestrator, which totally became identified with him, and now it's a staple for all analysts to have in the booth. And then you think about things like turducken on Thanksgiving, when he used words like boom and pow. He helped create the old Madden team. He was a very popular commercial pitch man. And even the Madden Cruiser was unique, and you had to be someone to get a ride on it, too.
Here's the 7th play of this drive. This is 3rd and 4. Brady. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And it's scooped up by the NFC. And they take possession 2 yards away from midfield at the 48-yard line. A defensive-minded coach loves to bring the heat, brought the heat there, and it worked out.
And nowadays, all those defensive-minded coaches, for them, it's all about getting the football. I went into one facility, and as soon as you walked into the defensive room, there was a football, like on a spring, and each guy that walks in that plays has to act like he's knocking the ball free. They want those instincts created. They want them to think about that all the time, and that's what they try to preach.
Up the middle they go with Sanders. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. Second down. Now, CD, we did get a little ahead of ourselves talking about John Madden, the broadcaster in the 90s and 2000s, because there was another product during that time period that he became quite famous for, and it's something that you and I know a little bit about, and that's the video game that bears his name. Originally John Madden Football when it was first released back in the late 1980s, and now known the world over simply as Madden.
And Coach saw this originally as a way to teach the game of football. The early designs were for a 7-on-7 game, but he said no chance. He would not sign off on it. He wanted to be as realistic as possible. He told them, call me when it's 11-on-11, and he got his wish.
Yeah, after that debut, Madden the video game continued to pick up steam through the 90s in a big way, and John himself, many will remember, was a commentator for the series for many years. And now here we are in the 2020s, and this game has sold somewhere in the neighborhood of 150 million copies. So, CD, you look at the accumulation of John Madden's achievements in the world of football, the coaching success, a Super Bowl title, the incredible career as a broadcaster with 12 Emmy Awards, Madden the video game. It was very fitting back in 2006 that John Madden got the call to be enshrined into the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
A more deserving person you will not find.
And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. And to the 40-yard line, that's where the return stops. A seismic shift in momentum here in the fourth quarter. That's the break that the defense needed.
And you know as well as I do, people are going to question the play call in that situation. Sometimes you have to question the execution, not necessarily the call. And in this case, those defenders found a way to give their team a chance.
The AFC offense set to take their next drive. The interception sets them up with an opportunity to erase this fourth quarter deficit. Now, this series could very well determine our outcome. And he'll be stopped right at midfield. You think about John Madden in his retirement years post-broadcasting. He was about as active as most people are in their working years. I mean, he continued to play a key role on the NFL's competition committee. He was available to a wide range of people as a tutor, as a mentor. He continued to teach the game of football to all who would listen. And Charles, as you and I know, he even continued to provide input, a lot of input on the Madden video game.
Yeah, I know a lot of folks that design and build this game certainly look forward to their yearly visits out to the Madden compound that he had out in the East Bay. They pitch the new aspects of each year's game to him, get his feedback, and then get to sit back and spend 6 hours with him on a Sunday watching football and listening to him tell stories and talk even more ball. It had to be an incredible experience for all involved.
Give the sack to Lawrence Taylor.
Pressure can come from all over when you're plotting a defensive strategy. On that particular play, it just came from the outside.
And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. Now Brady. Over the middle, complete. That's Hall. And they'll get this down to around the 47-yard line.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
Now Brady. Got him in. That's Tim Brown. And he's going to get this inside the 30. A good gain again. That's now 31 yards combined on those last 2 plays. So 2 minutes to play in the John Madden Legacy Game. The NFC trying to finish this one off. We're back to Oakland after this. The drive continues as they search for a tying touchdown. Here's 1st and 10. Now a toss play. Allen. And he is going to lose yardage here. It's a loss of 8 there on the 1st down play.
The safety position continues to evolve into a bigger role in run defense than in the past. They certainly love to have him drop down and get aggressive in bringing ball carriers down behind the line of scrimmage. Not many bigger stops than that one right there.
Now Brady. Allen's got it over the middle. And they'll get 8 out of this before being stopped at the 28.
Nice, well-coached, a team that understands what's going on. They still have time to work the middle of the field as they just did there.
They'll get to the line here, but remember, it's also 3rd down. Back to throw, Brady. Caught, Kelsey, left side. And he'll be out of bounds as he gets this down to about the 21 or 22. Calling a gain of 6 on the play, and that's going to bring up a 4th down. He got out of bounds. That's a good thing, but still short of the 1st.
And now, since this brings up 4th down, the defensive play caller, grab your nerves, because now you don't want to be so amped up that you give them a 1st down by getting out of your lanes, but you also don't want to just lay back and let them have it easily.
Now Brady, got to have this one. He finds his man, complete. It's Gonzalez. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. They keep the game alive, at least for the moment, as it's a 1st down. Well, they did the part they had to do. Quick throw got the 1st down.
But that doesn't allow them to relax. They still have plenty of work to do.
A looming decision to make on the conversion, down 7, but first things first, they need to score as they come up on, and he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. Now the AFC going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 ticks to go in the football game.
I got you, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
1st down, a bit of a disaster, and now on 2nd and goal, back even further. To throw is Brady. He rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked off by Deion Sanders. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Scoring has really been at a premium, and Charles, you got to tip your cap to this defense coming in here. Their offense too, but this whole team coming in here on the road, getting a hard-fought win.
I think the way that they're finishing this one up, an exclamation point on a terrific game. As you noted, hard for them to put points on the board, and they hold them down one more time and finalize things.
Let's go, man. Yeah, let's go. Let's go.
The offense for the NFC ready to get their next drive started. And still 2 timeouts defensively, but even if they choose to use those, 3 kneel downs should be enough to get out of here with a victory.
And that's exactly what's being stated into the head coach's headset. Oftentimes they have a guy upstairs who monitors this at the end of the game. Little clock management 101.
Victory very much in sight now as they'll take a knee. Now the AFC going to use their final timeout of the half as the clock will stop with 21 seconds to go in the football game.
Let's go do this thing, baby. All right, go get him now. Let's go.
Down to a knee one more time, and that should just about do it.
Brandon, I can just tell you from experience, there's nothing like pitching a shutout on defense, but even more so when it's a tight game. I mean, when every defensive play is crucial and you don't give up any points, boy, they're going to feel awfully good about themselves after this one.
Yeah, exactly. The offense wasn't humming, but hey. So it's a win here for the NFC. Just an incredible afternoon of football and remembering the life of John Madden. And before we go, one final message. And for all of us at EA Sports, this one's for you, Coach.
I just say this, I thank you all very much. This has been the sweetest ride of them all.